For the murder of the wounded, looting, cannibalism, you are hereby sentenced to death by hanging. Or torment.
Don't meddle. Take the reward and let's go.
Help me!
Knew you witches wouldn't scorn imperial gold. Tough hunt.
Tougher than yours, that's certain. Evil is evil. Lesser, greater, middling, makes no difference.
Can't fit me.
Bring her down. Do it my way. You like that, you bitch? Get the hammer. Kick her teeth in.
The degree is arbitrary, the definition's blurred. If I'm to choose between one evil and another, I'd rather not choose at all.
Just make it quick, Geralt.
What the?
Close your eyes.
Hit him! What are you doing?
Killing monsters.
The last 2 weeks were a whirlwind for Zavis, Devnet, and Eiry. They had split up briefly, attempting to evade the Justicar Plembry, who had come to an agreement with the doctor. Eiry was to work for the Justicar, who would take coin for her services curing the Red Withering. Eiry decided to leave it all behind. The Droskell, who were supposedly put to the sword by riotous men from the region, could not be contacted. What happened to Eiry's sisters? What happened to her friends, like Big Belly Ben and Tina Watermelons? She knew what happened to Eli. They all did. The boy was murdered by Ten Blades, a sword juggler and likely impostor. He went and died and dead, but the Witcher was gone. There was vengeance to be had regardless, and the trio dedicated themselves to it. There were leads. A burned and scarred face led the mob. Perhaps it was Ten Blades? They had heard tales of a juggler busking in this town or that, making coin enough to live, but only to move on before they had gotten there. Zavis questioned none of the people that told the tale. They weren't lying. He was keen to perceive such things, and so the trio has traveled east into a small hamlet known for farming and producing a sizable percentage of Verdun's wheat crop. Branfenshire, an odd place filled mostly with halflings that lived underground. Their old culture was preserved due to their skill in the fields and absolute loyalty to the crown. And I will give you guys a peek on the map of where you are. You can see you are essentially, if you look at Branfenshire, it is 2. So if you look at where you were before, you were at 1. So you're due north. You've been through several other small towns looking for Ten Blades, and it doesn't appear that he's hiding. There's definitely been sightings of a man in motley sword juggler, and this was the last place you had heard rumors that he had come to, and so you follow your lead and have come here. Now let me swing you over to You approach this quaint place from a distance, seeing the wheat fields and other crops swaying in the gentle breeze. The greens were almost blinding. It was picturesque. It was different. From the riotous and angry and hateful men of Orion, this seemed a different world. Sheep grazed and small picturesque homes were built in the side of small hills. There were a few buildings standing above ground, but it was all a mishmash of odd otherworldness, peaceful. Even it smelled less tired and terrible, like the human populations that you had just left. Small people with pointed ears, stunted, smaller than Zavis even, moved about, some working the fields with sickles, some pushing plows, guiding oxen. What seemed out of place here was a few men, heavily armored, sitting on horses, watching impatiently, as if some sort of disdain was on their brow, looking at these non-humans. But mostly it was likely to protect this large investment. The wheat and other crops here were important to Verdun. That much was very clear. There weren't many of these soldiers, but there were a few milling about on horses or standing next to the road. No one pays you any mind, besides casting you a glance as you walk slowly down the road, closer and closer to this place, which seems from another world entirely. So with that, I'll let you guys get started.
Alrighty. Zavis is looking fairly weary from the road. A little bit of sweat on his brow from presumably continuous long travels to get here. Swiftly away from where we were. And kind of looks over the place. That's beautiful, isn't it?
It's certainly different from what we've been seeing recently.
Hey, breath of fresh air, I think.
A welcome one.
It is certainly lovely, but the question is, do you think they've got a tavern?
Well, I can't think of many places that don't, so I certainly hope they do.
So the men in armor, just really quickly, they are definitely human and not like halflings.
Yes, certainly. They're tall and on large horses that would be for a man, not a pony.
Okay.
And they wear the sigil of Verdun, which you have seen plenty while you're in this kingdom.
Why do you think the soldiers here are even stationed in such a nice little place?
Oh, I suspect it's to protect the farms here that feed Verdun. I can't imagine that the halflings produce many warriors of their own.
I suppose. Well, you never know. Dwarves can be bards after all. But, hey, it is a bit odd. I wouldn't think it would be all that dangerous around here, but, well, given how things were a bit to the south, you never know.
Well, we can always ask.
We just, perhaps, we should be cautious.
Always. And it may just be our recent experiences with armed guards, but I don't like the look of them. The way they keep glancing over there in the fields. Looking down their noses at the gentlefolk here.
Aye.
Can we notice whether or not the halflings, like, have any sort of disposition towards the soldiers?
Not really from here. Most are just minding their own business, working in the fields or walking this way and that. They don't interact with these men, but from here, they're really not giving you anything. They're not really interacting with them at all, so it's hard to say.
It can at least be assumed that they've been there for a while because they seem comfortable around.
Oh yeah, nobody's looking panicked or in fear or anything. They just appear to be going about their daily business.
Okay.
Hey, we'll just have to hope they're better than the last lot you dealt with. They think they want to be locked up again anytime soon, that's for sure.
I don't think I can manage that.
You certainly do seem to have a talent for it.
Aye, seems like it.
We
Aye.
got away the last time, but, you know, if we have to go through it again, I'm not sure if we can, you know, slip away.
Well, I think we can, but I just don't wanna. Alright. It's a bit of a mess getting into that sort of business. Besides, it's not good for our reputation.
I
Regardless.
say we stick to trying to find 10 blades, and whatever business is going on here, maybe we can just avoid it entirely.
I don't know if it's ever that easy, lass. But I suppose it'll do. We'll just have to keep at it. Find a tavern, ask some questions. And, well, I certainly don't mind avoiding the guards. I'd be quite happy for it. I
Yeah,
think the halflings would be a better bet. Generally.
so as they're going down the road, keeping that advice in mind, Devnet will just give a nod to the soldiers, and we'll wait till we run across some halflings to ask for directions.
When you pass a soldier, he's off his horse, standing there, just watching idly. His helmet is off, resting on the ground next to his feet. As you watch by, he cuts a glance at each of you, but as you nod, he simply nods back. He doesn't really say anything to you, just watches you walk by for a few moments, perhaps with some sort of curiosity, but doesn't seem overly concerned. You walk several 100 yards past, and you see these two farmers, a male and a female, working in this garden, plucking up carrots and tomatoes, peppers, all these things. And they seem to be going about their business. They're heavy with sweat and dirt on their brow, but they seem to be smiling and chatting to one another. And they're only a few, probably 6 feet from the road, in front of a hole, a door into the side of a hill.
Time for that Zavis charm.
I'll see what he can do. And he'll kind of step a bit. Not quite off the path, but close enough. Hey there, fellas. How goes that?
Their heads turn in unison, and the male waddles forward. One thing you notice about the man is he's wearing a loose red shirt. He has no shoes on his feet, and his pants come to just below the knee. Well, hello there. How are you, dwarf?
Fairly good. How about you? Looks like good hard work.
Oh, yes. It's gardening for us today, me and my wife. I would offer you some, well, would you like some? A tomato? A carrot? Not skinned, unfortunately, but I have a knife.
Well, I suppose I'd be rude to decline. Looks like a good crop.
What do you say, dear? Generosity? That's our way. And she gives him a smile. And he picks up 3 tomatoes and waddles towards you and passes them in your direction. There you go, fine folk. What can we do for you in our little hamlet? Don't see many folk here.
I just travelling folk. Ended up a bit off the main road, if you will. Heard a few rumours about a juggler coming through these parts. We're hoping to catch the show. Sounds interesting. We haven't seen much interesting of late, so we were hoping, you know. I don't suppose he's been through here, has he?
He looks to his wife and smiles. Well, you'd be in luck. There was a juggler here not so long ago. It's fantastic. Juggled swords.
Oh my. Well, that's quite talented.
Quite.
Aye. I take it though from the sound of it, he's not here anymore, is he?
No, can't say I know where he went, but he did have some long chats with the mayor. Not sure what he got up to, but it was fun while he was here. Perhaps he'll be back soon, I don't know.
Aye, that's interesting. I do suppose you folk have a tavern around. We could find some lodgings for a while.
But of course we have a tavern. We would be uncivilized not to drink the ale or put your weary head down on a pillow. Of course,
Aye.
of course. He turns and points to one of the buildings above ground. Tavern's just down that way.
Oh, lovely. Well, thank you lot. That's been quite kind of you. I wish you luck in your gardening and a good harvest as well.
Oh yes. Gardening doesn't take much luck if you have a green thumb like I do. And he pokes his fat thumb up into the air.
Oh, I believe you. This tomato's nearly as red as my friend's hair.
Well, ain't that the sight? He smiles and looks at Eiry.
Eiry smiles back. Thank you so much for all your hospitality.
Oh, that's nothing. That's just a bit of produce for you. Welcome to Branfenshire.
Well, thanks for having us. I don't suppose you know where to find that mayor as well? I might ask him about that fella.
Well, his offices are, well, in the magistrate's office next to the tavern, actually. So if you wish to find the mayor, I would suspect he would be there, or perhaps in the tavern himself. I could not say. But the magistrate's, yes, he makes his offices there.
Oh, I see. That fella around, is he? Out and about.
Well, I don't think he has much choice. The magistrate, quite demanded it. Didn't want to have to go in and out of a small place, I suppose. Understandable for you tall folk.
Hey, you mean those tall folk? I suppose that makes sense though, aye.
Well, even you're a tall folk to me.
I suppose so. That's a bit odd. Gonna be hard to get used to that while I'm here. Well, again, thank you. We'll get on. Perhaps I'll see you in the tavern, aye.
You'll never know. I could be working up a thirst, I think. If the old missus lets me sneak away for an hour or two.
Oh, well, if we do see you, we'll stand you a drink.
Well. And she
Aye,
cuts
aye.
him a look like, no way in hell you're going. Well, maybe later. More pulling to do and washing and, rather gardening work. Have a good day.
You have a fine day.
Aye. Good on to you.
He pats his belly and rubs his dirt-covered hands off on his ample stomach and gets back to picking vegetables.
As they turn to go towards the tavern, Eiry's going to look to the other two. So, how exactly are we going to go about asking the mayor about Ten Blades?
Well, I suppose we'll have to just be careful, eh?
There's a couple different tacks we could take. You know, he could be the old relative we're trying to catch up with, or he could maybe have picked some pockets in a town that we were in. It really depends on the impression he made on the mayor. It's hard to know which way to go.
Aye, shouldn't be bad. I didn't think it'd be all that off to, just be a travelling fellow. Looking to see the show. Perhaps, have the fellow teach us a few tricks, eh?
Guess we'll play it by ear.
Aye, seems best. Depends on how he, receives us, right? If he thinks highly of the fellow, I don't think he's gonna be as keen if we, tell him that the fellow did something wrong. But, if he doesn't seem to like him, then I don't suppose we have much trouble, do we?
I think that's correct. We'll just have to see which way the wind's blowing when we're talking to him. Are you gonna eat that? And you see that she's already devoured her tomato.
I suppose you could have it. He tosses it up over to her.
Yeah, and it's probably the freshest fruit that you've eaten in maybe your entire life.
I've got a weakness for these things.
Aye, it's a lovely place. Good things expected from the tavern, aye. I think it'll be quite good. Wonder what kind of ale you make here. Hopefully something nice and stout.
Oh, maybe
You
some good
probably have
cider
quite-
as well.
Oh, now you're talking. Well, suppose we'd best see about it, aye? First we get to the tavern and figure out our lodgings, and then we can go from there.
Hopefully they have something in our size.
I suppose so. It looks like it's above ground, eh? Probably made for travellers more than anything. If not, I don't think I'll have too much trouble.
Oh, this wouldn't be the worst place we've camped out under the stars in, that's for certain.
Aye. It's not a bad spot though. Plenty of nice soft grass.
And a good lead on who we're actually hunting down.
Aye. I swear,
Yeah.
lovely place. Never thought
It's-
sheep
it's-
shite could smell so refreshing.
Was that what that is? Oh,
Perhaps. Gets a bit mixed up in the window, doesn't it? The flowers perhaps mixed with it, and well, it's quite curious, isn't it? Either way, I suppose it's to the tavern we go. Should be good. Get a bit of ale, poke around for info.
I'm getting thirsty just thinking about it. Let's hurry on.
Aye.
You head on down the road for a few moments before you round a bend and turn around a small pond. There's geese and ducks floating there through lily pads. There's a boy on a small pier with a fishing pole. He smiles as you pass and waves as his bobber goes under the water. He quickly yanks, grabbing a fish. Oh, a fish! A fish! Popeye, I've caught a fish! He rushes off to a nearby home, happy with his catch. As you pass, you hear laughing and singing from inside, and clapping of hands and drumming of feet on the ground just outside this tavern.
Well, sounds like it's making the tavern already. Nice and lively.
Let's go see what the fuss is about.
Hey. Zavis opens the door on up and takes a step in.
You step into a tavern, and you see there is many halflings inside, singing, dancing, men or halflings at the bar, drumming their tankards of ale onto the bar top. Give me 1 second. One halfling with a green and brown hat stands on his chair. Okay. My love, she was fair, my love, she was kind, and cruel the judge, and joy that sentenced her away from thieving was a thing that she never was inclined. Today sent my love across the sea 10,000 miles away. All around my hat, he takes his hat and tips it, I will wear the green willow all around my hat, for year and a day, and if anyone should question me reason for wearing it, I'll tell them that it is my own true love, is 10,000 miles away. And the halflings around cheer, and he bows and continues. I brought my love a golden ring to wear upon her finger, a token of my true love, and to remember me until she returns again. We never will be parted, we'll marry and be happy for ever and a day. And there's cheering and cheering. And he bows, swinging his arms wide. 7 long years my love and I parted. 7 long years my love is bound to stay. Long years of love to my love, and never be false-hearted, and never sigh or sorrow while she's far, far away. And there's a raucous cheer, and men, or the halflings, clap and drink their ale and throw back their heads, laughing. And he smiles and leans against the short bar and pushes his tankard forward, and the bartender reaches over and fills it quickly.
Eiry applauds.
Devnet follows her example there.
You
Thanks
begin
as
to
well.
clap, and for a moment no one notices it because it joins in the other clapping, but eventually a couple of them turn and look in your direction, a bit surprised to see tall folk among them.
Yeah, Zavis kind of gives a hearty smile and nod and begins to kind of walk up towards the bar alongside the man who is singing his little song. Well, fine performance that was. Very good.
Oh, you think so, do ya? Well, I'm half in my cups, so it probably wasn't so good, but thankfully everybody else is half in the cups as well, so they'll forget about it.
That's the best way to sing, hey?
Well, you are correct about that, my dwarven friend. It's good to see a Longbeard amongst us. Been a bit.
Aye, pleasure to meet you. Just Dartle, at your service. He offers a handshake.
He reaches forward, his small hand grips yours and gives it a firm shake. Well, I suppose you came here to drink, and drinking is what we're doing, so perhaps we'll get you an ale. Get this man an ale, Sybil. And the halfling with bushy sideburns. Oi, I get them an ale, you just wait there. What, do you want a stout? An ale?
Oh, aye. Darkest state you have. That'd be lovely.
The darker the better, they say. And I know, 'cause I blew it myself.
Oh, lovely. Craftsman here.
Oh,
Seems
yes.
like a lovely town for it.
Absolutely. Welcome to Eddington's. I wear many hats around here. Bartender, Elsman, and Mayor. At your service. He bows.
Truly. Aye. Well, you fixed yourself up nice, haven't you?
Never idle, that's what my mom always said.
Oh, I bet. With that many titles.
Oh, I have a few more, but, well, those aren't nearly as impressive as an airman. It only goes down from there, I say.
I suppose it does. Everybody counts on you for that, that's for sure. Imagine.
Well then, what about you, my ladies? Beautiful, beautiful to see long-legged ladies here. And the halfling with the hat on kind of rolls his eyes. Oh, don't let his charms fool you. He's a rascal, that one. Our mayor.
Oh, I'll bet. And Devnet smiles and does her best to look not dangerous. Do you happen to have any cider? With so many cups around, I thought maybe you'd produce a good one.
Oh, but of course, cider. Oh, I have the reddest apples here. Of course. I'll come up with a cider for you. How about you, my red lass? What would you like?
Well, cider sounds pretty enticing.
Well, 2 ciders and a stout. Wouldn't have it any other way, I'd say. Very, very, very... What do you say? He looks to Edwin. What is it called? I think the word you're looking for, Mayor, is predictable. A dwarf and 2 ladies. I could sing a song about that? No thanks, Edwin. I'll get your drinks. Excuse me.
I think I've heard that one before, anyway.
Oh, aye. That and a number more. Not that any good.
The mayor turns and begins to pour a draught of stout, and then he sits it to the side and walks further to the back to get the cider. As he does, the man in the green hat, the singer, says, "Well, what can I do you for? Or what can Branfenshire do for you, I should say?"
Oh,
Traveling,
well,
this is not really in between anywhere and anywhere.
Aye, I suppose it isn't, is it? But lucky for it that we're out this way. Seems a lovely place to stop. Then they have to take the long road more often.
Well, I think you're going to be happy here with your stay. All drinks and hard work for us.
Well, any hard work that doesn't deserve a hard drink, is there? Aye, I suppose so. But as far as our reasoning, looking for a fellow juggler. We're hoping to catch his show.
Oh, that fella. Well, he passed through. He's quite the acrobat as well, and juggler. I sang with him for a few performances. Nice enough fella. A bit quiet, perhaps.
Was
I
he
suppose.
wearing a mask? We heard that there was a masked juggler.
Oh yes, he was wearing a mask of motley. Never took it off that I saw. Quite the stage presence, if you know. Dedicated to his craft.
Of course. Any good performer is. And it sounds like he's quite talented.
Oh, quite. He threw small blades and juggled large blades and threw them as well. I think even the soldiery were a little worried of his skill.
I don't suppose you know where he went then? Which way, at least, I suppose.
Oh, afraid not. I do believe he was talking to the mayor, so if you have some questions, perhaps Mr. Eddington can help you. And as
Hey, that'd be
he
lovely.
says that, the mayor comes back with a large, or actually not so large, large for a halfling, tankard of stout and 2 cups of cider. And he pushes them across the bar. Well, the first one's on old Sybil Eddington, friends. But
Well,
the
thank
next
you.
one, going to have to insist for a little payment.
Oh, well, that's only right, isn't it? This looks good. And Zavis quite happily begins to take a rather hearty swig.
It is very, very good stuff.
So, Mayor, would you have a moment to spare to join us in our drink and share some conversation?
Oh, I don't see why not. Let me see where my apprentice barkeep got off to. Gendra! Gendra! He ducks under the bar and looks like you can't actually see him. As he kind of disappears looking under there. Gendra, where did you go, girl? And eventually this smaller halfling, younger, peeks her head around the corner. Yes, Mayor, I'm here. Well, can you tend bar for me while I go talk to these long legs? Ah, yes, of course. Well, that's a good girl. And he muffs her hair and walks out from behind the bar, pulling up the quote unquote door, if you will.
Yeah.
And sits it back down and walks over to your table. There's an assortment of different tables and chairs. Some are taller, some are shorter. He grabs a short chair and pulls it over to your taller table and plops himself down in it. Well, what can old Sybil Eddington do for you?
Yeah, Zavis kind of gets comfortably seated, kind of another swig of his brew, and sets it down, the breath kind of exhaling out with the scent of the alcohol itself. Hey, well, I was looking for that juggler that's been going through.
Oh, why yes. No, the juggler. He was quite popular.
Aye, that's why I was here, and we were hoping to catch the show. I suppose you might know where he went.
Oh yes, I do have an idea. And as he is about to say more, doors open, and 2 men walk in. One man is balding and overweight, with heavy whiskers and a double chin. In with him comes one of the soldiers. He's not wearing his helmet. He doesn't even appear to be armed. He is wearing some armor, but he just kind of walks over to the bar and sits down as the other man smiles. Eddington! Going to have to collect you for a bit there. He looks over at the 3 of you and looks a bit confused as who you are. And Eddington looks back to you. Oh, well, the magistrate calls. Can we have this conversation a bit later?
Yeah, I
Absolutely.
suppose we could.
Well, just fine, just fine. If you need another pint or a cider, please go to Gendra. She'll help you. She's a good girl.
Hey, that sounds lovely. I hope everything's alright. Time's, blessing.
Oh, I'm sure it'll just be just fine. Me and the magistrate, we have a good working relationship.
Well, here's the good working relationships, lad. And again, thank you for the drink and being so kind.
Oh, it is my absolute pleasure. Not every day we see two fine lasses and a long beard.
Well, nay too often I find a good town of halflands. Wish I did more often.
Oh, that is true. He smiles and wiggles out of his chair and looks particularly to Devnet and winks at her as he turns around and waddles off towards the back as the magistrate follows him.
Well, that's
Devnet just
unfortunate.
shakes her head. I hope it doesn't keep him long.
You're almost
Perhaps.
there.
Gendra, is that your name, girl?
She is currently behind the bar, washing some dishes, and she looks up. Oh yes, that's my name, Gendra. She ducks under the door on the bar and moves around and comes over to your table looking up at you. She's standing on her tiptoes. Do you need another drink?
I'll definitely be wanting a refill of this delicious cider. Does the tavern offer rooms to travelers, or is there someplace else that we can stay for the night?
Oh yes, we have a few rooms that you could rent for the night or for the week if that is what you choose.
Well, I think we'll start with the night. You didn't happen to catch that juggling show when it was in town, did you?
Oh, I did not, sadly. My ma, she wouldn't permit it.
Oh. Well, that's a shame. I know if it had been me, I would have snuck out.
Oh, well, I would have liked to, but I don't sneak out on ma. She looks a bit bashful. You can tell that she's afraid to speak of it or feels uncomfortable speaking of it, something along that line.
Oh, well, you're a more dutiful girl than I am, then. Is your ma strict, then?
Oh, well, when she tells me something that is, well, she says it's important. It's important. She knows things.
And she didn't want you to go to the show?
Oh no, she said it wouldn't be good for anyone. But everyone said he was amazing, so she shrugs. Perhaps
Yes,
Ma was
it is.
just being overprotective.
Well, sometimes our mothers have a certain instinct for that, and I'm sure she was just trying to keep you safe. Not all strangers can be trusted.
Yes, Ma says that very same thing.
I drink to that. But, what's this you're saying? Your ma knows things? What kind of things?
Oh, she's the local healer, you see, and, well, she knows things. I don't quite understand it myself.
A healer, you say? Well, what a coincidence. My friend here is also a healer, and she's running quite low on supplies. Do you think that maybe we could have a word with your mother?
Oh, I could ask her. She's a bit private, but mostly she takes care of the animals in the village, or if someone gets a bad tummy from drinking too much, she'll make a poultice for them. Or a salve if they get a blister, things of that nature. Nothing all too serious here.
Well, still, she might have some things that we're running short on, and I'm certainly getting the blisters from the road.
Well, perhaps I can ask her.
That'd be lovely of you. Thank you.
Well, I'm not off my shift for some time, but perhaps in the morning I could return here, and if you're staying, I could let you know what Ma says.
Hey, that'd be lovely. Quite curious.
Yes, thank you.
And, certainly a bit more to the drink. I think I might try one of those ciders now I've smelt them.
Oh, but of course, let me get right to it. 2 bits each.
Oh, aye,
Yeah, Devnet will slide over that and enough for a generous tip on top of it.
She smiles, scoops up the coins, and rushes back to the bar, leaving you there to talk as she gathers the drinks.
Well, if that lead don't pan out, perhaps she really does have something that you could use, Eiry.
Perhaps so, and I can't say no to some supplies.
Aye. Curious to find out if it's just a concern of mother, or least correct, or, I don't know. The wise folk tend to know more than most, and, is she one just skeptical of the juggler? Perhaps she knew something more.
That's actually an interesting.
Aye. Certainly hope that's alright. More information is, more leads, after all.
Probably wouldn't hurt to ask, so there's one avenue that we can explore, and until then, we can enjoy this delicious cider.
Aye. Quite a good drink. A couple more, I'll be ready to perform.
You begin to talk, breaking down into small talk as Sybil returns from a back room somewhere. His face is clearly less pleased than it was when he went back. The fat man walks from behind and walks to the man and gives him a curt nod, and they push past and out the door without another word. Eddington replaces himself behind the bar, forgetting he was even in conversation with you.
Eiry kind of looks over at Devnet and Zavis as Eddington just, is obviously, I guess, kind of forgot about everything. And kind of giving them a curious look as to, what do they do? Think something's up?
Seems something dire, doesn't it?
Perhaps we can offer to help in exchange for some information on the juggler.
Well, they need to make a proposal or something he was going to tell us anyway. But if it comes around to it, it is a bargain and shit.
Well, we can't afford to just let it drop.
Hey, curious though, what exactly is going on? But then again, I'm easily distracted, aren't I?
He's distracted enough to forget our previous conversation.
Hey, well, let me see if I can get him over again. Interesting. Zavis will kind of take another sip of his drow and put it back down, and head stretches and walks on over. Oh yeah, Sybil, everything okay?
Oh, I'm sorry, I totally forgot myself. Apologies for being put away. Everything will be alright. It always is here in Branfenshire for us.
I was worried. You had a bit of a dire look for a moment there.
Oh, yes. Well, not your problem. We'll be fine.
I suppose if you say so, I'll trust you on it. So, I was just curious about that juggler you mentioned. Hey,
Oh, yes, the juggler. Well, he bought some property.
really? Interesting. Why did you do that? Just decided to settle down that easy?
Well, he said you want to fix the place up, I think is what he said. Scratches his chin. I'm sorry, I'm all flabbergasted. To be truthful, I'm a bit melancholy.
Will, unburden yourself, man. Sometimes it's easiest to talk to strangers about our problems.
Aye, venting's important. Trust me, I know. I help people with it often.
Oh, well, for such a kind face, he looks at Devnet. I suppose I could. And he comes back out from the bar after pouring himself a tall draught, actually 2 of stout. And he walks over and sits them up on the table and sits back down next to Devnet. Well, you see, we obviously provide the crops for the king and all his men and many others here in Branfenshire, and it's kept us safe for many years. Many years, my grandpa, and his grandpa even. But, well, the taxes are getting quite steep. Pretty soon we won't get anything for our labours. I don't
Really?
know. It's just... The king says that he have nothing to give. Very little for us. I don't know what we'll do. I mean, we can survive, but... surviving is nothing.
So what do they say this increase in your taxes is due to?
I don't know. They just tell me and I must follow. I wasn't given a reason besides they didn't have anything to pay. Or not the same. So they needed to take more from us here.
And that fellow that came in, he's the one that gives you all the info, eh?
Oh yes, he's the king's magistrate here. Name's Conrad Hickey. Fair enough man, I suppose.
Oh, do you? There's no suspicion he might be, taken a little off the top. Wouldn't be the first magistrate to do so.
Right.
Oh, I certainly hope so. I wouldn't trust a man that didn't steal a little.
Eiry looks a little confused at that comment, but she doesn't say anything.
His
Yeah,
laugh is
suppose-
kind of pathetic, right? It's just like,
Have you heard
Well-
or contacted anyone else from the magistrates?
oh, he is my contact. He's the one I must speak to. Sometimes other men come to transport our crop, but mostly it's Mr. Conrad. There was a man before him. He was a sour man, but long gone, over 10 years, I think.
Well, that's not the sort of problems that we're good at solving, but you have our sympathy.
Well, I mean, I do have a thought. I mean, you are tall-leg folk. Maybe he listened to you. If you just perhaps ask him to, well, go easy on us. Not to raise our taxes. I do worry.
Well, wouldn't hurt to say something, I suppose. My friend here has a bit of a silver tongue. But this property you were speaking of that the juggler was purchasing, that was in town or somewhere else?
Oh no, not quite in town. There is an old lass who lived just out of town in the woods there. He kind of motions towards the east, what you think is east and indoors. Just out of town. It quite a wreck, honestly.
Well, that seems odd.
Well, it seems pretty odd that he'd buy property to fix it up and then just leave.
Oh, well, maybe he's still there. Maybe he's fixing it up. Where is it exactly?
Oh well, I could send someone with you to show you. It's a bit difficult to find, quite obviously. It's winding in the woods there. Might get lost if I didn't send someone with you.
That would be appreciated.
I suppose so.
Yes, you want to find this juggler pretty bad, huh?
Aye, well, I'm a bit of a performer myself, and I was hoping to learn some tricks. Though I'm not quite so daft with such things, it's a good idea to learn from whoever you can, eh?
Yeah, he's more of a singer, but he's hoping to expand his repertoire.
Well, if you're looking for someone deft with a blade, juggling and throwing, he'd be the man, and quite an acrobat too. Never seen the beat, quite honestly.
Lovely. Aye, seems like quite good things to know on the road, if nothing else.
Well, how far out in the woods is it? How long would it take us to get there? Is this something we should do today or maybe tomorrow?
Oh well, I would have to see who wants to take you. It's a bit of a walk. I'd say 4 or 5 hours at least.
Oh,
I
for
think
that,
you
I'm
wouldn't
sure
want
we
to
can
do it tonight.
Yes, and we can spare some coin for anyone who needs an odd job, maybe.
Well, if the taxes go as their magistrate said, there'll be plenty needing the coin. I'll pick someone that knows the way, needs the coin the most.
Lovely. Well, seems an interesting situation overall. We'll have to see what we can do about that tax, I suppose. That's quite curious. Well, hopefully it's nothing.
He looks between the three of you. Oh, so, you were going to talk to the magistrate then?
Well then,
That's a question,
perhaps.
right? He's just...
Oh, I think we will definitely have a chat with him, and perhaps it'll come up in the conversation. No one likes pushy strangers, but we'll see what we can do.
Hey. To be honest, I am a little bit curious, but we wouldn't want to offend a fella, make him think you sent us. Last thing we need is for him to, get frustrated and increase the tax instead, right?
Oh, yes, that is so. That is most certainly so, sir. Yes, don't tell him old Eddington sent you. That
Of course not.
might turn his ire onto us, and that would just be quite terrible.
Well, we wouldn't want to do that.
Hey, for now, well, I think we might do with another song or two, eh? And I need to pay for me drink somehow, eh?
Oh, I believe Gindra has yours settled there, she told me as I came out. Did you want rooms? I can...
Aye, that would be lovely.
Oh, yes. Well, there's no one here, so I'll give you the discount. And he gives you a very, very cheap rate for the room for the night. There are two that he offers. Girls in one and boys in the other, or, well, whatever tickles your fancy. Yes. Well, I need to get back to it. I'm quite sorry I can't sit here and drink my troubles away. Lots of titles, as you said.
Oh, quite understandable. Thank you for your time.
Aye, aye. Lovely talking to you. Best of luck with things.
He smiles, sadly almost, and looks to Devnet. And, oh, thank you, lass, for your time, and I feel better already.
Well, it was my pleasure. She says, looking a little confused.
He hops off the chair and takes his now 2 empty tankards back behind the bar and begins washing them, leaving you guys alone. And Edmund Slim begins another song, which this time I am not going to sing.
Aw.
What is it with these short, rotund men, dude? I have some sign that says open for business. I like short, round men. I don't know what...
Aye, it certainly seems that way, doesn't it? That's quite interesting. I don't know if it's the round or the short bit. It's something about opposites
Well,
attract, I suppose.
I find him less objectionable than that other
Aye,
one.
certainly think he's a fucking improvement, isn't he?
A Prince Charming in comparison.
Aye, really. Aye. Regardless. Well, I think I could do with a performance. Are you getting enough drink in me now?
Oh, go at it.
Well, I hate to show this other fellow up, but I think there's not much that you can do about that.
Aye, it is what it is, after all. Well, perhaps we can do a duet. Maybe you like that. That'd be interesting, wouldn't it?
Let's hear it.
We'll see how it goes. Zavis will kind of end up alongside Edwin and kind of slap his shoulder a bit. You'll see him have a bit of a short conversation, seeing if he wants to perhaps have a duet or, have a good sing together and such.
Oh, by all means. I'll sing along with you, Longbeard.
Aye, it'll be a lovely performance, and I suppose we have a good table to stand on.
Aren't all good tables to stand on, as long as they don't fall over?
Ah, exactly my point. Sturdiest one in the house, I'm sure. And he'll reach for the nearest one, essentially. And, yeah, I think I'll do busking.
Okay.
I don't think, let me see. You want me to do return act as well? Presuming, I doubt he's really... I guess
I would say you probably wouldn't have been here before.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah, let's just do busking, that's fine.
Cool. Alrighty. Do I need to do that one off my sheet, or is there...
Yeah, that's off your sheet.
Yeah, I thought so. Cool. Aw, yeah. Make some money before they all tighten their coin purse.
Yeah. The two of you sing in unison, picking a familiar song. And those other halflings in the room cheer as they did before for Edwin. You hear one of them say, "Oh, that Longbeard, he's got quite the voice." And, yeah, you make your money. You want to calculate how much that is.
Yeah, let me see. I think it's equal to the roll, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that's correct. Total of this roll is the amount of money, so just add 18 to your...
Lovely.
And so, let's just say that pays for your lodging. And
Yeah,
your
that
drinks.
seems perfect.
So the The day begins to grow into night, and you can determine what you guys want to do.
Oh, well, we've got a full day tomorrow. Do we want to go try to talk to this magistrate tonight or not? I hate getting involved in more business that could be tricky, but I do feel bad for these folk.
I suppose it might be best to hold off on that, right? Think about it like this: if we go in there after he's just seen us talking with Sybil, a bit easy to make an assumption. But if we're around town for a few days and word gets out about the tax, alright, then it'd be reasonable for us to know about it.
So we're planning on staying a couple of days.
Yeah, depending on how it goes, I suppose. Certainly a good tavern, good stop to stock up on things, alright, and maybe make a little bit of coin before they tighten their purses. Good drink as well.
That might be an idea.
Aye. But I presume at this point they've kind of gotten just aside to their rooms, essentially.
Yeah, that's fine.
There's one thing that concerns me a bit, right? This spot out in the middle of nowhere, right? He decided to just buy it to fix it up. That's
What
odd.
concerns you?
Well, there's a few things, right? Could be the fella just wanted a hidey hole, somewhere to lay low in case things got hairy. But think about it like this: there's plenty of chance that he's gotten word of the fact that we didn't perish, right? What note did say he was coming for us as well. And well, you remember the way it was when we came to investigate dead horses and such, okay? It was just a trap. Just
You're
well out the
thinking,
way.
Well, we'll have to keep that in mind for sure. We don't want
Aye.
to be caught with our pants down, so to speak.
Aye, so to speak. Definitely. It may be nothing. It may just be a hidey hole for him, but in case he is onto us, I think it's good to be cautious. Uh, you know, we saw how it was before. If he's done that sort of thing again, it's no much to guess he wouldn't do it again.
that's actually pretty valid. And slightly disappointing.
Well, we'll see. I could be wrong, but best to keep it in mind.
I do still think we should investigate it, just
Oh,
to
absolutely.
eliminate it from the possibility.
Definitely. Who knows, if we're lucky, the fella's got a good stash there. Only problem is, well, once we know where it is, we can check it out again if we need to, but might want to keep that a bit on the down low, eh?
I agree.
Boy,
We aren't in a position to turn down any leads at this point, I think.
you think so?
Well, I think I've had a bit to drink. I'm going to try to sleep it off so that I'm fresh in the morning.
You're the lightweight you are. Well, can I say I haven't either, so a good rest would be nice. Proper soft beds after the weird travels we've had.
I don't even think there's bed bugs here. Quite the novelty.
That is odd. I don't know if I'll be able to sleep without him. We're used to
I'll pinch you while you're sleeping.
it. Well, I'll have to do it in turn then. Well.
Yep. You guys retire for the night. The night passes. The only thing you hear is snoring from downstairs eventually, as you're one of the last to close the bar. these halflings drink until late. But with you warming yourself with cider and stout, you finally find sleep. Your beds are soft and comfortable with pillows and straw, and it is the best sleep you've had in quite a while. The next day comes as you can see the light shining through the window between the blankets that are nailed up to serve as blinds. As you're waking, there's a pounding on your door.
Oh, we're coming. Who is it?
Sergeant Ruckman. Open up.
Well, give me a minute to get decent. And Devnet's gonna kind of put her poignard down the back of her shirt and cover it up. Down the Eiry, I was thinking we shouldn't use your name around anyone official.
I think that's a good idea.
So you're Astrid, all right?
Astrid?
That's the first name that come to mind.
I could pull it off.
Oh, all right then. She'll go over and open the door. What can I do for you?
Magistrate Hickety wants to speak to you.
All right. Is he here?
No, I'll be taking you to his home. His office. Whenever you're ready. He looks past Devnet towards the others.
Alright, give us a moment.
He stands there.
I'm just going to shut the door here for a moment and then we'll be out shortly.
Alright, hurry up.
Eiry is going to give Devnet like a wide-eyed, like, what, why are we getting this kind of glance, but not say anything.
How nice that the local official wants to welcome us to town.
Zavis in there as well, I take it then, it sounds like? Or...
I mean,
we can
just say yes for ease of...
I was going to say, it would not be a surprise if he just passed out there with him.
Yeah.
Isn't they good? There could be a lot of things for this. Don't know. Don't go on in assuming that's what you think it is. That's the way I always do things. If we're lucky, it's not. But, I can't think of many reasons aside.
Well, it doesn't look like it can be avoided. Are we ready?
I suppose so.
Eiry's nodding, but it seems like she's, kind of like giving herself a mental pep.
Zavis kind of arranging himself, getting his stuff all gathered back up, and his doublet back on and such. Alright then, I suppose it'll be a bit of a brisk morning walk, eh?
I suppose. Devnet breathes into her hand and smells her morning breath. Well, guess we don't have that much time to freshen up, but...
That's fine. Besides, with that fella, I don't think we need to be all that concerned.
Well, let's find out what this is all about.
Hey, if push comes to shove, be ready to bolt, aye?
Always am.
All right.
All right, Sergeant, we're coming. Take us to your leader.
Follow me, then. He turns and walks down the stairs, out the door, and begins to walk down the road towards another building, which is larger and appears newer. Let me switch this. You walk into, you walk to this larger building, easily the largest in the town. The soldier pushes the doors open and you see a fire burning in the distance. Go on then. And then I'll wait outside.
Zavis will kind of head on in.
Devnet's right behind him.
Yeah.
She's testing her theory of attraction for disgusting men and has pasted a wide smile on her face.
As you walk in, you see this magistrate sitting on a chair by the fire. He has a piece of parchment in his hands. It's rolled up, and one hand is balled into a fist, and his chin sits on it as he waits. When he notices you enter, his head turns, and he waves for you to come closer.
Greetings. How goes it?
Good morning.
This is a pleasant surprise.
His face is locked in what some would say a scowl, or some might say a smile. Yeah, well, a good morning for someone. Maybe not for others. Come on in. Need to talk to you.
Hey, of course. I'm quite curious what brings us down here. Is anything important going on?
Oh, important to some. Got a little message last night. He waves the parchment kind of in front of him. Seems just a car looking for, well, a woman with long red hair, another woman with black hair, and a dwarf. Seems you fit that description quite spot on.
Oh, that's curious. What might they be looking for us for?
Oh, it doesn't specifically say, just says that you broke the law and you're to be apprehended immediately.
Well, that's odd. We hadn't done anything of the sort.
Out of
Perhaps if you give us the names, we could probably hunt them down for you.
You're a funny girl. Pretty funny.
Does there happen to be a reward mentioned in that message?
There is, in fact.
And what's the amount?
Well, I suppose that depends. Depends on what someone might give old Mr. Hickey to throw this note in the fire.
I think we're thinking along the same lines, Mr. Hickey. That fire doesn't look nearly hot enough to me. Need some kindling.
And my pockets need weighting down.
Well then. I suppose fellas like us may be able to help with something like that. What do you have in mind?
Well, I'm asking you, Mr. Dwarf. Mr. Zavis? He smiles.
I see. Well, let's see here. Is there anything in particular going on that needs dealing with? Anything that such services as a few folk like us could take care of to get started, of course.
Well, since it doesn't look like you are carrying any treasure chest with you at the moment, I guess there probably is something you can do for me. You see, this little fella, this Sybil Eddington, causes me problems on the daily.
Truly.
How's that even possible?
Oh, complaining about this tax or that tax. Not wanting to kick up his fair share. And I do quite believe that he is hiding some of their proceeds. Shows me one ledger, but I don't think it's the real one. If I can prove it, well, then I can force him to pay his fair share, or, well, imprisonment, like anyone else who skirts on their taxes to the king.
How much you think he's skipping off the top?
Oh, I don't know. All I know is these halflings are quite adept at their task, and this is some of the best crop in the kingdom, if not the best.
Must admit, I imagine they'd get quite a bit for it.
Exactly. So I tell you what, since you don't look like you have gold for me, you find this ledger and bring it back to Mr. Hickey, and this can go in the fire, and I can send a nice letter back to the Justicar saying that I ain't seen ya.
I suppose something like that could be worked out quite easily.
Oh yeah. We just need maybe a day or two to work things out.
Alright, well, my sergeant here will escort you around town in case you feel like you might want to run off. Hope that's alright.
Well,
Yes,
we were
fine.
going to make a visit to a local healer. Would that's not going to be a problem, is it?
A local healer, you talking about the halfling lady?
Yes.
Ooh, well, I would suggest against that quite highly.
Really?
Why is that?
Oh, she doesn't quite like the tall folk, number one. Number two, I think she might be a poisoner and maybe even a witch. That's what they say.
Really?
They all say that.
I was hoping for some salve for my blisters. Getting quite painful.
Well, I can't tell you what to do except not to leave. If you want to go to her house, then that's up to you.
And about this ledger, you don't think the guard is going to make it a bit difficult to get a hold of?
What guard? The mayor has no guard. My guards will let you go anywhere you want. But you can't make it obvious, obviously. Can't be seen to beating up these little folk.
Well, of course.
Right,
Fair
we're just suggesting that the guard keep a bit of a distance so as not to look suspicious.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yes. Eye shot will be fine.
Lovely.
Well, there you go then.
And one more thing, we need to check out a place a bit off in the woods. Looking to get a guide out there, but I suppose your fellow will keep an eye on us on the way, eh?
Oh, like I said, let's not be leaving the hamlet until we have this settled. Those woods are deep, and one could find themselves lost in them quite easily, so let's just stay in town until you have that ledger back in old Mr. Hickey's pocket.
Fair enough. Alright then, we'll see about taking care of it.
You know, he looks to Eiry, this one does not seem to like you very much. You have the biggest reward, and you seem quite the mouse here, not saying much at all. Are
I've
you a
not much
deadly
to say.
woman?
Do you want to know the answer?
Well, I wouldn't have asked if I didn't want to know.
I can be.
Is that so?
Zavis audibly giggles at that.
Well then, let's hope we can find a mutually beneficial relationship here. Bring me the ledger. You're free to go. I mean you no harm in any case, but, well, like I said, old Mr. Hickey needs his pockets filled.
Aye. Then everyone, I'll get it taken care of.
Well, that sounds just wonderful. I look forward to seeing this book very soon.
Eiry is visibly frowning.
Well, I have business to attend to, so if you could kindly leave. Sergeant, will you escort them? Sergeant! He kind of yells towards the door, and the door opens. Keep an eye on them. Escort them around town. Don't need to be up their ass, though. Just keep 2 eyes on them. Make sure they don't get off anywhere. If they do, blow your horn. He nods. Good day to you, friends.
Oh, good day to you too. We'll be seeing you later.
Aye. Thank you for being so amicable.
Of course. Don't much like justicers. And he tucks the note back into his pocket and reaches down and grabs a book, big heavy book, and has a quill and begins scribbling on the pages.
Devnet's gonna head out.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yes, it was Eiry.
No.
Alright. Yeah, switch the scene for you guys.
Well, I didn't think my decisions would catch up with us this quickly.
Yeah, well, the moment I heard the fact that the town had such a magistrate, well, suffice to say I was a bit worried, but didn't think it'd come about this quick.
It's not unexpected, but it's something to keep in mind in the future. So what are we
Aye.
gonna do about this now?
Well,
I've no doubt that the mayor might be skimming a little off the top, but I don't like the idea of giving that fat windbag ammunition against him.
I think the mayor seemed especially passionate about the tax issue. I think that if we were to incriminate him, it would ruin all of his efforts for the people.
hey, well, I think I have a few ideas on how we can do it. He seemed a fairly kind fella, but at the same time, I quite fully expect that he is skimming Sunny off the top, based on the way he spoke.
Well, I don't know what to do yet. Let's see if we can see this healer and at least follow up on that lead while we're in town. I'm a bit frustrated at the delay.
Hey, there's nothing for it. It's going to happen sooner or later.
I'm sorry about that.
But, to be honest, I feel like this fella's a bit more amicable, as I said. But,
Well, he's greedy anyway.
hey, at least he's not trying to hire us for months at a time like the last one. But also, we do need to be cautious. Given the way things are, it wouldn't be hard for him to just go back on it. A bit of trust goes a long way, but caution is good to temper yourself with. Just be ready in case he tries to double back.
You think he will?
I don't know. We'll have to see. Certainly hope he won't.
Well, let's go try to find that lass at the tavern.
Aye, that's a start.
So it's early in the morning and you make your way back towards the tavern. Behind you is following your shadow, the sergeant. You go into the tavern and he follows.
Lass, did you speak to your mother?
Oh yes, I spoke to her. She said she would talk to you.
Oh, that's quite good.
Where can we meet her?
Oh, I can take you to my home. On my break, near midday, if that suits you.
That does, yes.
In the meanwhile, I suppose a meal would do, eh?
Well, what is it you would like? I can have old Slim cook you up something. He is our cook as well as the best singer, well, at least today, the second best singer in Branfenshire.
That's kind of you.
I'm not particular. Mass quantities is more my concern.
Oh, well, so be it.
I certainly don't mind a bit of lamb, given the atmosphere around here. Seem to have a lovely stock of them, eh?
Lamb for breakfast, I suppose. It might be a little bit, but I can whip you that up.
Aye. You ever have lamb and eggs? Oh, it's lovely. You can get some potatoes in there as well. You got yourself a proper skillet.
She smiles. And you, dear? Looking at Eiry.
That sounds fantastic. I'll have what he's having.
The guard like guffaw. Gendra looks up at the man and, well, I'll be at it. She rushes into the back. It takes a while, but eventually she comes out with plates and quite a meal. 3 lamb potatoes, carrots, eggs. It's this place is just all your expectations of comfort and hospitality. when she charges you, it's not even... it would be nowhere near if you got the same meal somewhere else.
Oh, this looks lovely, lass. Thank you. Aren't you the proper chef?
Oh, I can't take credit for the meal. I was only serving it. It's, as I said, Edwin's in the back, slaving away.
Oh.
Woke him up. He cursed once and then got to it. He was a bit cloud-headed, if you know what I mean, from all the drinks and singing.
It's quite a meal to make after being clouded. I'll have to give him my regards later.
And she smiles. Well, I'll be back later. I have some things to do in the back before, well, people start coming in. They won't come in earnest until they're out of the fields, but that's midday. I'd say I can take you to meet Ma.
Thank you kindly, lad. You've been a great help.
She smiles and walks off.
Wait, lass.
Oh, yes?
A favor. You see that gentleman over there? And she'll kind of just tilt her head toward the soldier.
You can see her swallow hard, and she nods.
I think maybe some drinks might improve his mood. And she slides over some coins. Send him something strong on me.
Well, we do have some spirits.
Or whatever he wants, just keep it coming. While we wait for your break.
She nods and fills up a cup of something and walks it over to the soldier. The soldier looks down at her and...
Devnet will give him a little wave and a wink.
The soldier reaches down, takes the cup, looks at it for a moment, and takes a swallow. Yeah, that's nice. He looks at Devnet sidelong, and then back to the halfling, handing him back the cup. And you hear the girl ask him if he wants another, and he nods, and she goes and retrieves one. And in the next few minutes, he's had 3 of those things. He's still standing there, but his stern face is now more slack-jawed and relaxed.
Aye, that's a good way of doing things.
Well, I don't know whether we want to talk to him or lose him, but our chances are better now, I think. Either way.
Aye, how do we do it? Good idea. Lovely job, Devnet.
I suppose we need to consider what to do next. Are we going to go through with the ledger?
Hey,
Or are we going to lose?
Go ahead, Deb. Go ahead, don't worry.
Or are we going to lose the, what is it, sergeant? Was this right?
Yeah, he's sergeant. You have a name.
Well, what we need to do is we need to make it so that we can check out this place in the forest, and I'd rather not have the whole town alerted to our absence. We may have to kind of, I don't know, plan this as we go. If we could drink them under the table and manage to get out to the forest, I think that, and avoid the whole situation, that would be my preference.
I suppose it wouldn't be the worst way of doing things, but as dangerous. If things go poorly, if another guard on the town sees how things are going, word gets back, and he sends some more out to catch us, it'd be... Well, I don't doubt we could get out of here, but... To be honest, I think for now, alright, you check with this healer, eh? See if she does have the information I'm hoping she might. And then go from there. As for the ledger, I had a bit of an idea about that, right?
What do you
I'm
think?
quite curious. What's your idea, Zavis?
Well, you see, I suspicious this other fella, alright, that he's skimming off the top. And he's promised, of course, to take care of things for us if we get the ledger. But he doesn't know how much is being skimmed off the top of it. If he gets my drift. And of course, who knows how many ledgers the fella could have. If we were to have a chat with a friend, right? And he were to just give us the ledger, you know, and be upfront about it. Right?
And he could make whatever adjustments needed to be done. Is that what you're suggesting?
Right, you get me drift.
I'm concerned that any discrepancy at all is going to be all the excuse that that bastard's going to need to hang this innkeeper high and dry.
I suppose, but I don't see much else choice unless we skip town. Now, our friend might be willing to help with that. If we give him the straight about what's going on. But
Well, I don't think that there's any harm in trying. Now, this soldier here is supposed to keep us in eyesight, and I don't think he's going to like seeing us talk to the innkeeper in secret, but maybe you could sneak off while Eiry and I stay here, and there's only one of him. Can't be in both places, and this is where the ale is.
exactly. Everyone has to take a piss eventually. I think that'll do well. So, for now, we see about this healer, and then see about perhaps having Gendra get us a meeting with him. See if I can get him aside, alright? While you two hang about the bar, or when you come with, or however you want to do it.
I think if at least two of us are here, we can always say that you're out taking a piss yourself.
Aye. After all, like you said, they're most concerned about Eiry, so I think she's the one that'll keep an eye on. More than anything.
Well, looks like kind of a plan. Let's keep the drinks coming. And she'll signal over to Gendra.
He drinks a couple more, but eventually he waves her off. But he's just standing there and kind of frowns and walks over to the three of you. You all stay here. Need to make water.
Yes, sir.
Aye, of course.
Don't move a muscle. If I come back and you're gone, it won't be good for you.
Oh, of course, fella. Just try not to fall on it, eh?
I'm quite comfortable where I am. I think we're going to be the easiest job you've had in quite a while.
Aye.
He looks to Eiry and Devnet and then Zavis. Yeah, whatever. He just turns around and you can see he's a little clumsy as he moves a bit. Pushes out the door and leaves you guys alone for the time being.
Yeah. Zavis kind of waves Gendra over.
Oh, yes? What is it? Are you ready to go? Or should we wait for the sergeant?
We'll have to wait for him, I think. But I suppose you could arrange a meeting with the mayor for me later.
Oh, well, he's here every day. After he's done with his work in the fields, he'll be here to tend bar.
I suppose that'll probably be around the time we go talk to your ma, eh?
Oh, a bit after.
Perfect.
I think you certainly would have time to talk to my ma and then come back and talk to Mr. Eddington.
Quite good, quite good. Aye.
Well,
Lovely.
if you see him before we do, perhaps you could tell him that we'd like to speak to him on a matter of importance, but discretion. That we'll try to arrange a more private discussion between him and Zavis at some point.
I'll let him know it's what we talked about last night, and he should get it.
Oh, very well. Very well. I'll tell him that when I see him.
Hey, thank you.
Well, as soon as that soldier gets back then, I think we'll try to talk to your mother.
All right. And about as she's saying that, he walks back in. Sits down in a chair. Another hour maybe passes. He doesn't drink anything else. You see his eyes narrow as he's fighting off sleep, as this is extremely boring for him. And Gendra finishes something up in the back and approaches you. Well, I can take you to see my ma now. I think I have everything covered.
Oh, lovely. Thank you.
Well, let's get going then.
You begin to stand up, and the soldier also stands up and begins to follow you. Where are you going? He asks.
I'm getting some blister poultice.
Right,
Shouldn't
as
be
we said.
far.
I'm not going in that place. I'll stand outside.
Well, that's fine enough.
You know where we are.
Don't be trying to go out the back or any shite. I don't want to have to chase you. I've never killed a plowing woman, and I don't plan to now.
Well, that's good to know. Just try to go easy on me, I guess.
Don't much get her about dwarves. We're not the racists here like many of the others in the north.
Well, I suppose I met one of the first decent fellas I have in the world, then.
Well, when you live with these small folk for as long as we have, your mind begins to change a bit.
I suppose it does.
You get the impression that this guy is kind of loosening up.
Seems a lovely place to live. Do you enjoy your work here for the most part?
It's boring, but better than bloodshed. Seen a lot of that in my youth. Don't much care for it.
Most have, sadly. At least the magistrate seems a honest fellow, eh?
He just shrugs. You ever know a bureaucrat, to be honest?
Nay, properly. Aye. But he keeps the taxes all straight though for him, I take it?
Well, don't know much about that. I know that he and the mayor have some sort of disagreement, but I don't pay much attention to it, honestly. I have a nice bed here. It's relaxing. There's good ale. Good folk. Keep my nose out of business that's not mine. I shouldn't even be talking to you, honestly.
So
If
well
the
and good.
magistrate wants me to keep an eye on you, I'll keep an eye on you. Just not going in there. Please don't run. That's all I ask.
I
With
think
these
you can do-
blisters?
Aye.
Lady, I've seen trouble before, and you are the definition of trouble, I have to guess. You and your blisters, too.
Oh, fella, you've got no idea. And she gives him a wink.
Listen, don't get me in any trouble, alright?
Aye, I think you'll be fine, lad.
Well then, if you want to go to see the healer, I'll be outside. Let's go. Kendra walks up, just watching this conversation, and walks out the door.
Mhm.
As you follow her, you come to a circular door. She walks up to it, knocks 3 times, and then pushes it open. It's bright, and it's odd. Part of it is well kept, and part of it appears to be a bit of a shamble. Let me move you guys. There's a woman there, halfling. She sits cross-legged on a almost what is a small bed, perhaps, sitting against the wall. She looks up. Well, it looks like my visitors are here. Come in there. Come in.
Aye, good to meet you.
Thank you for having us.
I'm Polena. Gendra here, the girl, says you needed to see me. She scooches off the bed, stands up. She's tall for these people, you notice.
Hey, we had a few questions and such. We're hoping to perhaps stock up on some spare things as well while we're here.
To be frank, your daughter mentioned that you had some reservations about her going to see that juggler while he was in town.
Oh, the juggler. He's troubled, that one, I think.
Aye, that's what she indicated, and I have a good deal of respect for the wise women of villages, and sometimes you have instincts about things, and I wondered what had triggered your distaste.
Or I see things, sometimes I do. I saw his show, and every one of his blades were stained with blood. No one else seemed to see it, so I assume it's only something I can see. That one is dangerous.
Aye, that he is.
Give
And
us
you
the
do
right
well
of it.
not to let him know that you saw that if he ever shows up here again.
I don't plan to ever see him again, that is for certain. But I have a feeling that you do.
He's the reason we're here.
He's lovely enough.
I'm sorry, dear, she says, looking to Eiry.
Sorry.
I see tears on your cheek. Like I say, I see things.
Eiry looks away, kind of a little embarrassed.
Devil put a hand on her shoulder. Why, she's had a rough time of it lately. It's not really related to why we're here, but yes,
Oh,
this...
I think you misunderstand me. I don't see things of the past, no, I see things of the future. That's why I had Kindra stay away. Each of his blades were covered in blood. That's to come. Those tears you will cry, they are also to come. I suggest you walk away, but I think you might not.
Can you tell why? How? Is it that clear to you?
Oh, no, unfortunately, my dear. Some things are not so clear. Some things, well, are more clear, but as I say, I see what I see, and this is what I see. Okay.
Do you happen to know... We heard that this juggler had bought some land out in the forest. Is there any reason you can think that he would have been interested in it?
Oh, I can't say for sure. It's a good hiding spot, I suppose, but I don't know that that's it. Something tells me it's not. It's an old place. There used to be a small hamlet out there many, many years ago, but overgrown with the forest now, and these forests, well, we're right close to Brooklyn, if you know, and sometimes the forests don't like people much. Halflings, humans, dwarves, doesn't much matter.
I suppose. About that hamlet, do you know much about his past?
Oh, not much. Ages old. I went there once, looking for supplies. Downright creepy. Didn't see anything, but I was young then and my skills were not what they are today. A chill down my spine and never been back in 40-odd years.
And, what's it like? Any
Well,
clear sign of the way it is now?
dark and gloomy. I couldn't even say what it's like now. There's some buildings standing, but not many. Most are fallen into complete and utter ruin. I think the mayor thought this Tin Blade's a soft-brained fella when he wanted to buy something out there, which technically I suppose the mayor controls. But can't say I know why or what he wants. Strange.
What's your take on the mayor? Is he a good man?
Oh, I think so. Oh, but what can someone do when they're pressed by the long legs for everything we have? We sit here and we work, and it's a good life, but eventually there won't be anything left for us.
Is that something you see?
No, not exactly. It's unclear.
Well, it's most sad in its own way, isn't it?
So what will you do then? Are you planning to go and out into the woods and find this fella?
Perhaps. Do you know, by any chance, which way he went?
Oh, I can tell you where the hamlet is, certainly, if he went that way. I could show you there.
I suppose that'd be lovely. Although we have some other, quite sad business to take care of first.
Oh?
Hey. Probably some things to do with the, situation in town. Sort of like you said. Hopefully we can get things taken care of amicably.
Yes, well, there's not much I can provide help with that.
Oh, but speaking of some business, our friend here is a bit of a healer, and Eiry, do you have any need of resupplying that she might be able to provide?
Yes. Supplies for any sort of pain remedies, any cells, I suppose, for
Oh, I have salves if that's what you'll be looking for, but I think you need something more like this. And she walks over and grabs something off one of her shelves and brings it over to you. I believe that this might be more helpful. And she passes it over, and you are able to look over it for a moment, and you're not sure if it's some sort of weird coincidence, but it's definitely another one of there's northern wind bombs.
So she would recognize it when she, or when.
Cut out just a little bit there.
I'm sorry. She would recognize it when Helena shows.
Yeah, you recognize it immediately.
Okay. Eiry takes it in hand and kind of, is taken aback slightly, looks at it curiously, and looks over at Helena. You think I'll be needing something like this instead?
I think if you're going to go digging into that man's business, then yeah, I do.
Alright, how much for this then?
Oh, don't be worrying about paying old Helena. Here in Branfenshire, we offer our, hospitality, and that is mine. And this advice, turn around and leave this place.
Well, tell me, Helena. Is your future that you see, is it set in stone?
No future set in stone, dear. But I think you're walking down a dangerous path. And those tears, they may be falling.
And if I turn around and just leave this behind, do you see any difference?
She takes a very deep breath. Exhales. She closes her eyes. Her eyes opens, and there's no pupil. For a brief second, her eyelids shudder quickly and close again. Oh, when they open this time, her pupils are back. And I'm sorry, dear. Looks like those tears are falling regardless.
Then there's no point in abandoning our...
Oh, I would not say that. But you'll do what you do. I wish you well.
Thank you.
Aye, thank you kindly for your time and your help.
We do thank you. Well, we'll leave you to your business. Gendra, I suppose we should head back to the inn and wait for the mayor to return.
Oh, very well. She looks to her mom and curtsies. Helena simply nods as you take your leave. You're going straight back to the bar, right?
I think that was the plan.
Yep.
Yeah.
You head back to the bar, and as you're walking out, the sergeant is sitting on the ground next to a small hedge. Ugh. Didn't get quite the chance to nap there. I'm glad you didn't run off. Make me look like a fool.
You're all well and good, lad. I think the things will go fine.
Good, good. Back to the bar then.
Aye, that's what it looks like.
You get into the bar and it's getting about that time. There's music playing. There are quite a bit more people in here than was before. You see the innkeeper moving about. Oh, Gendra, well, it's good of you to skedaddle and not come back right away. Where have you been? Girl, come on. With our new friends here? Oh, the adventure of a long leg's tale. Well, come on in. The ale's fresh, the stouts are ready.
Aye, thank you. I'm just having a look around. Things are lovely around here as always.
Well, take a seat there, my friends, and I'll bring you over your usual.
Thank you.
He smiles and begins to pour the drinks and comes over and places them down around you and smiles and gives an extra big smile to Devnet. Well, it's good to see her again. I'm in better spirits today, thankfully. Oh, sorry about my sourpussness yesterday.
Yes, no issue. I actually want to talk to you about that. I suppose we could get a moment of quiet.
Oh, quiet. Well, I've got a lot of work here, but I don't know if it's quiet, but he kind of scooches up in the chair. It's so loud in here, you wouldn't hear anything. What do you need to talk about to the mayor? Or the barkeep? Is there something wrong with your accommodations?
Nay, of course not.
Do we think that the guard would be able to overhear anything from our table?
Nah.
Well, I quite like you, Sybil. Quite like this place. You want to see it do well, alright? And in regards to that, I want to be upfront with you. The magistrate had some concern he voiced with us. And
Oh, you spoke to the magistrate, did you? Well, and what were his concerns?
aye, well, you see, we're in a bit of a predicament. Things are, suffice to say, not going too well at the moment. But he had some concerns about your ledger. He thinks you're skimping, cutting off the top.
Go ahead and roll me a human perception, whatever that's called.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I have a button for that. I don't have to go to my sheet.
It's under empathy.
Oop. Oop. There.
Oh, he frowns very, very, very deeply when you say that. Well, that just seems ludicrous. But you're fairly sure that he's lying.
I am sure it does, to most anyone. But, so that I can help you out, I'm curious how much, if it were, of course, I should be mad, because of course it isn't, but if it were my friend, how much do you think it would be off?
It'll be off enough for us to survive a few more years. If you think I'm pocketing it, then you're a fool. I'm not Mr. Hickey.
Well, that's why we come to you with this information.
I do appreciate it, lass, but now I think my goose is cooked. If Mr. Hickey knows, then what can I do about it? Eventually, he'll clap me in irons and take me to the capital and lost in a dungeon for the rest of my days.
Right now, he only suspects. He doesn't know.
Perhaps there's another ledger that has different numbers in it. Or there
Exactly.
could be.
Well, I can guarantee that to be the case. Sybil Eddington always keeps a good ledger. Probably to my dismay now.
Hey, well, what I'm saying, what we're saying, fella, if, right, because, to be frank, he has us by the balls, quite frankly, and, if, right, we were to take him a ledger that had slightly more pleasant numbers in it, something that shows things are a little bit off, but not enough to warrant him doing much about it, right, to take suspicion off a bit. Do you think you might be able to do that?
I could. I see what you're saying, but how do we know that if I'm a copper off, that isn't good enough for Mr. Hickey to clasp me in irons and send me away? Either way, I've admitted to wrongdoing against the king. Treason.
I would be inclined to agree with the mayor. Any amount off could be reason enough. Perhaps we can figure out a way to just show that maybe the good mayor is good.
Maybe the inn has been experiencing some losses that the magistrate isn't aware of.
You have a good point there. Perhaps,
A
things were
cask of
going there.
ale got spilled on the road here that he didn't know about, or something like that.
Oh, excuse me, my fine lass, but please tell me what that proves. I'm not following.
Well, that may be why the numbers aren't what he thinks they should be.
Aye, I see what you mean. So, if, right, we could give him a proper story, one that is suitable, right? So, say, something was going wrong, right? And, he thought the numbers were off, but perhaps various things had happened that resulted in them being different that you had no control over, right? We just need to show him that the money went somewhere, right? Perhaps something that you had a reason to be concerned about.
Well,
Or
if I
him.
was that wise to enter that into my ledger in my debits, then I would have been a wise man, but he shrugs.
Unless I produce another ledger that has this information in it, would he even believe that?
And it's not possible to get one made up in the next day or two.
Oh, that will be just easy, but would he believe it? You see, there's one side of credits and there's one side of debits. And I could teach you all about accounting, but I think you might find it rather drab.
Hey, well, how about this, alright? What if it was a mistake, alright? You give him a simple ledger, and you show that the number was off somewhere, right? You explain it. Suddenly it's now you doing anything on purpose, right? Make it something that's a simple mistake, right? Perhaps a wrong digit, right, in a spot that went missed, something that he could have easily missed himself, right?
He looks at you sidelong. Excuse me, sir, but Cyril Eddington does not make mathematical errors. It is wide known.
Well, look, perhaps the simplest answer here is to offer him a portion of what you've got set aside. He seems like he's the kind of man that's always got his hand open. Perhaps a little bit of carrot with some stick. I don't know, some public support showing that you're a popular man in town, and if something should happen to you, maybe people wouldn't feel like working so hard.
Well, I suppose maybe that would work. So come out to him then and offer him a bribe, is what you're saying?
Perhaps we can act as intermediaries. I wouldn't want him to give him an additional ammunition against you, and we're already caught in the middle.
Hey, as long as we help out with the situation, the problem should be solved.
Good, Eiry.
We can just say that we warmed up to you and feel bad, and make a plea on your behalf and see how it goes.
I suppose, or do we make it sound like perhaps more of the people around town are disgruntled, alright? Concerned with how things are? Make it sound like perhaps Harvest might be hurt for it. If the mayor were gone, right? Demoralise the fellas.
Well, I see that as being a rather decent proposal. I don't know what I can do at this point, so you'll have my blessing and my thanks. And my goose might not be cooked after all.
If we were to give him a number for assuming he's got his hand out in some way, what can you spare him?
Oh, about a half dozen bushels of wheat a month. That should fill his pockets fair enough and leave us enough to squirrel away for a rainy day.
All right, then. We'll start with offering him 3 extra, and we'll see where we can get for it.
Oh, all right, if you think that is wise.
She nudges Zavis. This man here, he's could charm the skirt off of the most prudish housewife you've ever known. I think maybe he can squeeze a little bit out of this fella.
I'll see what he can do, eh? And I'll give him a kind reminder that the people are quite behind you as well. That should make him more willing to accept whatever we put forward.
Oh, I certainly hope so. I've got so many cousins and brothers in this town. It's hard not to get elected mayor. Well, I guess if you're not in irons, that is. I do thank you for your assistance.
If
Of course.
there is some way you can spread the word and perhaps find some visible way for the guards around town and for this fella to see that support in a visible way. That may not hurt our argument.
I think that might be a fine idea, lass. I do these talks from time to time. They're called Sibyl Squawks, and I think I can maybe work one up. Hear some folk don't much like 'em, say I'm full of myself, but I think some do.
Maybe somewhere out in the middle of the town square, somewhere nice and public.
I think I'll do quite well.
I'll put my best breeches on and my overcoat. Corduroy. People love it.
Aye. Sounds lovely. I think people quite enjoy it.
Well, I need to go tighten my belt. I must stay looking fit when you give speeches. So, if you excuse me, Gendel dear, get Edwin out to the back if you need to. I need to go prepare my speech in the mirror. He rubs down his sideburns.
You're looking fine to me, sir. I think you've got nothing to worry about.
He straightens his back. Well, that is the finest thing I have heard all day. With this kind of confidence, I'm sure I can tell them what's what and knock 'em dead. I'll have them cheering in the streets if I have your support, madame.
Oh, that you do. She gives him a whack on the bottom.
Oh, please.
He kind of jumps a bit. Well, I am ready to talk now for sure. And he just very quickly waddles away. Very proud of himself. It's like almost a strut / waddle at the same time.
I mean, I wonder if it isn't because you encourage him.
Devnet just takes a drink. I have no idea what you mean.
Yeah, well, to each his own. I guess flattery is flattery.
Thought I could use a bit of confidence.
I suppose so. Oh, well. While this gets all set up, I suppose we need to have a little chat with Mr. Mickey, eh?
I think we should time it for maybe, as his talk's winding down to an end.
Aye, good idea. That should be perfect.
You wait inside, and you notice that after a while, some of the people filter out into the square, and you hear in the distance, the mayor speak. And today has been the finest day of my life, and I want to thank everyone in the town, everyone that has supported me and my wonderful service to Branfenshire. And all those that... He looks around, looking for Devnet and doesn't see her, and kind of bites lip.
She'll come out.
Oh, yeah, I imagine we would have been.
Okay. He's in the distance and bites his bottom lip. And those that have given me the confidence today to stand here before you and say that I am proud to be your mayor. And there's some cheering,
Devnet sticks her 2 fingers in her mouth and does her signature whistle.
And there's cheering and dancing, and you hear someone break into song, and people rolling out kegs into the square to drink right out there, and just a wild time for these halflings. The sergeant's sitting there oh my god, what am I listening to, But he has a faint smile on his face too.
Well, I suppose we best go talk to our friend now. Things
I
have
think
made
that's your cue.
Aye.
You head back to his house. It's well past dark now, and the soldier knocks on the door and another one answers. You're brought into the room and you wait for a few minutes. And down this stairwell comes Mr. Hickey, the magistrate. Well, what did you find out for me? Am I going to add some kindling to the fire tonight, or should I... And he, points to this table that he stops at, and there's a letter sealed in wax. Send this via courier to my friend the Justicar.
I think you'll find most things should be quite well set for you.
And is that a fact? How about some details, friend?
Aye, indeed. Well, firstly, you've got some concerns, alright? As you probably heard by now, the town is quite in support of Sybil. If, suffice to say, if things were to go wrong, well, morale, at the very least, would be something to worry about.
Go wrong, you are saying, if he is arrested, I believe.
Aye.
Well, that is not my primary goal. Do you have his ledger? So I can actually get the taxes that we are deserved for our king.
Not yet, but I think I might have something more suitable for you.
What would be more suitable than
Well,
the king's taxes?
for you, my friend, several bushels on a regular basis of wheat.
Oh, deliver to Mr. Hickey's house, you're saying?
Oh, of course.
Well, several has a different definition for some people. What is your definition there, sir?
Aye. Well, I think the most appropriate bet we'd have would be about 4.
Why don't you give me a persuasion?
Alrighty. And I am gonna dump my 3 luck into this.
Okay, good. I guess that, yeah, persuasion.
Yeah, persuasion, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that the one that... I think that's the one that isn't...
I think that's the one that needs to be fixed. I need to fix it.
Yeah, I'll go on the sheet for it.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Oh, it's no problem.
I just keep forgetting to fix it.
There we are.
Oh,
Oh, go ahead and roll your...
Woo!
Yay!
Another
There
one.
we are.
Let's... Well, 4 is quite a bit. I think I could live with that. And I think that the mayor could too, if you know my gist.
Aye, I think so.
My
And given how things are,
experiences.
aye, I think things will be quite good between you in the future as well.
Go ahead, Dev.
Oh, just that once you've got a favourable arrangement with someone, I don't see the point in shaking the boat and over past grievance.
Oh, I don't mind the mayor so much. Especially now, I'll take those bushels. To Mr. Hickey's house, of course. For safekeeping. To be sold to others as necessary. For the good of the kingdom, of course.
Of course.
Of course, and what about that letter? It looks like that your fire needs building up.
Oh, I suppose it does. I tell you what. Here you go, you can toss it in yourself. He hands both of them over to whoever will take them.
Where is it? Is it addressed to a particular place or just to the person?
It's actually addressed to magistrates. It's like a generic type of letter, where it appears that the Justicar has sent it to various places.
Okay. she'll toss it in.
It instantly goes up in flames and begins to burn. Well, never saw any letter, and never saw two ladies and a dwarf, one with fiery red hair.
Well, it's quite a lovely thing, isn't it? There.
It is. You may want to tell your friend the mayor to tell his people the same in case they are taken off guard. They are quite good liars, so if they like you, then perhaps they can keep your secrets.
Who did he say? Sorry, it cut out a little bit.
The mayor. He just said, tell the mayor to tell his people to keep that in mind. That you.
Yeah, I figured. Hey, well, I must thank you. You've been most accommodating, as has this whole town.
Well, Branfenshire is the gem of the kingdom, I have always said. These people are nice enough, and I am happy to be here. As long as Mr. Hickey's pockets get filled, as I say.
Aye, well, it's a pleasure having done business with you. Perhaps you'll meet again in the future. I wish you the best of luck.
You dear friends, I hope that you have enjoyed your stay here. Where will you be going next? I can't believe you came here to fill Mr. Hickey's pockets, clearly.
We'll see. To be quite honest, I don't think there's any harm in it. We're attempting to track a murderer.
A murderer, you say, here in Branfenshire? Well, the only thing I murdered is a chicken. Sitting in my belly right now. I'm sorry, you'll probably not find a murderer in these parts. Simple folk, even the guards.
Oh, aye. That's what you want to tell you.
Good, Eiry.
Oh, we hope we don't.
Looks across each other. Well, might as well tell Mr. Hickey what you mean, then. What murder are you looking for?
Aye. Well, the fellow that was in a while back, the juggler. Suffice to say, he's someone to watch out for. If you see him again in town, it may be good to have the guards keep an eye. Although, maybe one eye be aren't all that obvious with it. As long as he thinks everything's fine, everything should be fine, but I can tell you, to be sure, the man has killed and will kill again.
Well, that is strange. He made no fuss here. He simply came into town, did his act a few times, collect the coin, and I believe he made an arrangement with the mayor for some property out in the woods. God knows why, but...
Aye, we're not sure yet why. He may just be looking to lay low for a while, but I quite like this place, and I'd quite like it to stay well intact. So, just to be quite honest with you, it is a concern.
I will keep that in mind, thank you, Mr.
Of course.
Dwarf.
Yeah, Zavis gives a bit of a half bow in that regard. Well, I think for now our business is done. Thank you again.
Was somebody gonna say something?
No, just let's go give the news to the mayor.
Aye.
Well, I can fetch him myself and speak to him. I would like to enjoy a tankard of his ale anyway. You've done your business here and your duties. If you wish to stick around town, I would not be displeased with that. Don't see many humans or even dwarves here, but anyway, I am a bit homesick, but if any time you wish to come to Branfenshire, then you may stay here. I will foot your bill for lodging. You're welcome anytime.
Well, thank you. I think we'll have a good place to stop every time we come by, to say the least.
Well then, good night, and if you're, I'll get the mayor. No need to bother him unless you
Well,
run
thank you.
across him.
Oh, we'll be off then, I think. There's still some festivities going around. Catch us a cup of ale or two.
Aye. I'll be quite glad for a drink now this is all done.
He smiles and nods, and as you're walking out, he says, "Oh, by the way, there, lass," and he's looking at Eiry. "I would be careful. This feller, his bounty for you were 500 crowns.
Eiry's eyes go big. Is that so?
It was. I do not like the prospect of some manhunter catching you, and the three of you together, well, you do match all his descriptions quite easily."
Aye, perhaps we'll have to change a bit of that.
I don't know how much we can change, but as soon as our business is done in the area, might be a good idea to put some distance.
Aye, we'll have to see. Might have an idea for that.
Well, thank you for that information.
Aye. That's good help.
Well, I do wish you well.
And you.
He turns and begins to walk upstairs as the sergeant pushes the door open for you to leave.
All wills that ends well, Sergeant. She gives him a little salute.
He nods a bit. His stoic demeanor seems to have come back after he's sobered up a bit. "Good day," he says.
Aye. Rest up. Well, Sergeant. You got a good town to protect. And he kind of taps the back of his fist against his chest plate as he walks past.
He doesn't really respond. He just lets you go past. And as you step out... go ahead, if somebody's going to say something.
No.
Okay. He just lets you go outside and closes the door behind you.
Well, I got the impression that maybe this fella didn't want you to speak to the mayor in case the number that you gave him differed, so pass the word that it's 4 bushels to someone, Zavis.
Aye. I think it'll be fine. Well, I must admit, I quite like it around here. It's a good place.
Oh, could have turned out a lot worse.
Aye, that it certainly could have. We got lucky.
Eiry's kind of fiddling with her hair a bit in thought as she's walking alongside them. You think I should cut my hair?
Well, may not be the worst.
Oh, that'd be such a shame.
Aye,
She's so
Would you
recognizable.
have to dye it?
that's why I was thinking, perhaps some
Why?
dyes.
With your skill in making things that go boom, I should think that you could come up with something that would darken your tresses.
It'd take a lot of dye.
Well, you got a lot of hair. That's a nice surprise. I think I may have to do the same, sadly. And perhaps Devnet as well. That's a start. Honestly, you'd be surprised how easy it is to make people think you're someone else with the right adjustments.
Perhaps if you cut your beard off, people might think you're just a little wee lad.
My, That is probably the most cruel thing you've said to me in a while.
Perhaps just dye in the beard.
Yeah, as you guys are kind of joking with each other, you hear, 1 second, I'm going to get the... Hold on. Finding and playing the right music is a pain in the butt.
I feel you.
God, that's not what I wanted. As you are jesting with each other, you hear someone scream, "Ah! Ah! Ah!"
Yeah,
A
Zavis,
very high-pitched halfling voice. It's impossible to say if it's female or male.
What was
Zavis
that?
starts bolting that direction, presuming the worst.
Yeah, Devnet's got her self chasing after him, pulling out her bow at the same time.
Oh, he's running after them too.
You run around the corner and you see this halfling woman looking down at something. It appears to be in a basket, perhaps?
What's wrong?
She, backs up with her arms up and stumbles back, giving you a clear view of what it is. In the basket sits a bearded head, and you recognize it as Big Belly Ben. His eyes are shut, and there is a spike in his forehead with a note stuck there.
Oh my gosh.
Fuck. Devnet's gonna grab the note and read it out loud.
It reads, "What are you waiting for? Come and get me." And as you look down at this horror in front of you, the screen pans into the woods. An eerie sensation comes over the viewer. And I messed up, so 1 second. Sorry. Damn it. The scene shifts and you see the camera pan into the woods. And you see this empty house. Or not necessarily empty. You see the outside of this house. And you hear the sharpening of blades inside. And then finally, the screen fades to black. And that's it.